good evening. Or good evening. What am I saying good evening for? Good morning, I suppose. It's Good Friday. We're recording on Good Friday. Yeah. Welcome to the Take a Poll podcast. I'm so used to saying good evening because we usually record in the evening, but because it's Good Friday, Dec and I have the day off, and we're going to go through the Saturday and Sunday of the Easter Festival at Fairyhouse, which we cannot wait for. But before we get started, the usual, Dec, how are you? How are things? All good?
All good. Yeah, looking forward to the weekend. Hope to get there at least 2 or 3 days anyway.
Yeah, I'm targeting Sunday. I won't make it tomorrow or Saturday. I'll see about Monday. But no, Sunday is the card I'm really looking forward to. A few podcast legends running on Sunday, which I'm very looking forward to.
It's an all or nothing day for you, isn't it?
It probably is the way the cookie is crumbling. Yeah,
you either buy a house out of this now, or
yeah, be looking for.
You'll be delivering curries at night.
Yeah, one or the other, exactly. Yeah, very much looking forward to it. So, the Fairyhouse Easter Festival, obviously very close proximity to Cheltenham. So there's going to be probably a lot of opportunities to take on horses that might be coming here on the back of running from Cheltenham that may have been targeted at this meeting, which is what we'll say from the get-go. The vast majority of my selections are going to be horses that did not go to Cheltenham, with the exception of, I think, one. So very much looking forward to getting into this. And because we've, I think, 15, 16 races to get through, Dec, we'll jump straight into it. We'll go with the 210, the Tom Quinlan Electrical Maiden Hurdle. I should make sure this is not Sunday that I'll jump straight to. 1 sec.
No, 2 more, 3.5 maiden.
Yeah, Tom Quinlan Electrical Maiden Hurdle. Yeah, apologies for that now. So a horse that I followed quite a lot, actually, Butcher Hollow. He's probably going to be towards the top of the market again. Paul Townend, who's obviously chasing the Jockeys Championship up against Jack Kennedy, taking a rare enough outside ride for Thomas Cooper here. Cut the Rope, a horse that you've had a lot of time for, Dec, as well. Paul Nolan, he's in here too. For Fear of Frost too, I think was seen last year behind Impere, passing a maiden hurdle, but hasn't really lived up to it since. Also in there, and a couple of first-time outers for JP McManus and M. Mullins, with a couple of runners as well. The once classy Postilio, who was a good horse on the flat, but now a 7-year-old, maybe doesn't retain that ability. Competitive old maiden hurdle to start us off, Dec. Who do you like here? Yeah,
it is a competitive maiden hurdle, and it's probably one of those, I find it very, very difficult to find a selection, and it probably is one of those, like you've mentioned horses we followed through the season and they're still maidens, and one of those horses with high hopes was probably going to fall in here. But you mentioned Postilio there.
Yeah,
like he was toured at Leopardstown this month too. Now he was well held, like 203 bolted up. But I said to you last week, I think 203 could be a nice one. He's on my radar for the Punchestown Festival now. I don't think he was fully done with when he made the mistake at Navan last week, and he ran on really well. He was closing the gap again on the winner. Gold in the Rivers was second that day. He's followed up since. Postilio's won 4 times at the flat. The peak rating of 105. He is a 7-year-old. That's my worry. But he's probably arguably carrying the strongest form into the race as well. The strongest jumps form. Al Gaspardo, I had a look at. He was second last day to Mirazor West, but I'm not really sure of that form. I do think Mirazor West is a much better horse going right-handed, and we probably get that later on. Yeah. But Butcher Hollow, like, he's a bumper winner, placing 3 maidens. I just don't know. There's a few professional losers in here.
He lacks a gear, doesn't he? I think, even for a bumper winner.
This horse has won 4 times. There's horses in here now that have probably should have won 4 times, or at least won some 4 goals. Donchelant was one I looked at as well, but he's getting on a bit as well now, isn't he?
Yeah, I quite like Donchelant, actually. He'd be my selection here.
Is he? Yeah, I do like him as well, but he did improve from his first hurdle run to be second to Olympic Man then the next time at Naas. Look, we don't know loads about that form. It'd be between Donchelant and Postilio for me, but I'll probably just side with Postilio and the fact that the horse knows how to win, where a few of these, a lot of these have had a few goals now and not been good.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point. I thought Donchelant's bumper form for Willie Mullins was, semi-decent. I don't think he's done a whole lot wrong in his 2 starts to date, both over 2.5 miles, and it was definitely an improved performance behind Olympic Man. He's an 8-year-old who I think he'll go fine on the ground, and they won't runs into him now. He's obviously missed a hell of a lot of time, but it's still ridiculous for me. So obviously, never won, but like, I don't think. I wouldn't say it's an attitude problem. I think this might be a slightly easier opportunity, especially, I know it's Easter Festival. The maiden hurdles at this time of year shouldn't be as strong. The good ones will have already won their maidens and be, you know, in better races now. I'd take a chance on him, but again, there's probably going to be better betting opportunities over the course of 3 days. So it would be tentatively Don Chalon for me, and then it would be the Emmett Mullins 7-year-old for yourself.
Yeah, look, I kind of narrowed it down to the two of them, but I'll go with Postilio, yeah.
Okay. Well, onto the Hunter's Chase then. You know, we always loved our Hunter Chase form on this show, doing our utmost best. Well, we've only got 4 runners now. Animix is a non-runner. So we've just got Albuquerque, Boss Robin, Ferns Lock, Grange, Island. I would imagine with the defection of Anna Mix, Ferns Lock is probably going to be a pretty short price to win this deck. Would you think?
Look, he should be winning it. He didn't look to enjoy Cheltenham. He was really keen and start. He was keen. Like his race was done before he went out to the second circuit, I'd say. Other than that, his form is fairly rock solid, apart from this race last year. But they went a silly gallop last year, and Anime it was Anime, wasn't he? Just picked up the pieces.
Yeah, Animix, Or Anime, yeah, I suppose you're right, actually, Anime.
Yeah. They just went way too hard, and he just picked up the pieces. He should be winning this. If I had to pick one to follow him home, be Boss Robin. Like he counted for Roy Hill, the horse of Ross Sullivan's the last day. He's too much to find with Ferns locked out to have a right go, and 4 runners, no places. Ferns Lock really should just go and win this quite easily.
Yeah, unless Cheltenham has left a serious mark on him. I know we said at the top of the show, you know, we wouldn't be taking Cheltenham horses, but there's very little else to go on here.
He didn't finish the race.
Yeah, no, he didn't.
Unless it's messed with his mind, would be the only.
You never know. Yeah, you never know. Like, you could argue there's enough there to maybe take him on, but again, probably better opportunities, as we said, just a rinse and repeat, really. We'll move quickly on then back to the 320, the Boyle Sports Mares Handicap Chase. 8 runners, and the mares, you've had a good read on this form, Dec. Jumping Jet, etc.
Yeah.
And then obviously a few coming back from Cheltenham, your Harmonia Makers, Onsty, I think she ran at Cheltenham, didn't she? Yeah, so a couple in there. Queen Jane, who we were mad on at around Christmas time, but she's been disappointing. I don't think she ran since the Jim Duggan Mountain. She did. She did. Yeah, she was pulled up, wasn't she, over the marathon trip?
Yeah.
Right. Well, who do you like here?
Look, normally you'd be drawn instantly to Onsty and Harmonia Maker, but it is Cheltenham that's turning me off. Like, it's the handicap debuts. They've graded form. You know, Harmonia Maker can be very, very good on her day. But it's like what Cheltenham 2 weeks ago. Like it's
just 2 weeks and change. Yeah,
it's no time ago. They ran 2 weeks ago today.
Yeah, so as we're recording Friday. Yeah, so it'll be 15 days. Yeah.
You know, it's no time ago, and it's been heavy ground, and the two of them are going to have to carry a lot of weight here. And look, I was big thinking during the week this meeting can go ahead. We've had that much rain, but it's lovely and sunny out today, and hopefully the rain stays away. But it's going to be a tough slog for any horses carrying big weights. Queen Jane, look, she has disappointed since her second to Bride's Hill. She was very unlucky that day. She came from miles back, and there was only a short head in it, I think. But she's brought down at Limerick, and I think she was beaten when she was brought down.
100%.
Yeah, and then she was pulled up the next day, and she's got, you know, the handicappers got her no sack. She's still on the same mark. She ran off those 2 days, so it would be really hard to make a case for her. I thought it was quite difficult this race, boy. I'm siding with Jumping Jet. She bolted up in the handicap debut off 109. That was at Navan. She won really, really easily. She was second in the novice. Or was it novice graded race then? Or maybe it was just a novice.
It was just a novice chase, yeah.
Yeah, the Tactical Move next time out. Tactical Move is probably a nice horse. I think she'd be the one for me here. She is up to 121, but like she absolutely bolted up that day at Navan. She won very, very easily.
It's actually it was a great tree behind Tactical Move. So it's decent enough form. I will actually give Queen Jane one more chance because she didn't have travel in the marathon race, and Rachel just looked after her. She just didn't stay, but she did jump a little bit better. Limerick, I'll always forgive a horse a bad run at Limerick at that time of year, despite her having course form. Her second to Bride's Hill, returning to the scene of where she was second to Bride's Hill. I don't think there is a Bride's Hill in here in terms of how well handicapped she probably was. She's had a good season. I would imagine Connections be disappointed if Queen Jane doesn't run well here, given what she did at Fairyhouse at the start of the season. I would take a chance that Henry has a right here, and I'd fancy her enough now. I think I'd definitely give her a chance. And it's Jumping Jeff for yourself, Dec, yeah?
It'd be Jumping Jeff for me, yeah.
Lovely. We'll move on then to the 3:55, the Fred Kenny Memorial Ladies National Handicap Chase, 2 miles and 6, or just shy of 2 miles and 6. I think we had the winner of this last year on the other podcast, but a few more podcast legends, Soda Flow, in here as well, who I think won for us a couple of podcasts ago.
Yeah.
But it's it's actually hard to discount any of these. Really, looking at the form, like there's no obvious one really in here. Dec,
No.
Who do you like?
There's no obvious one, but I like two down the bottom. Fairyhouse Easter, pretty much ran as the trainer said the last day at Leopardstown. You were there with me. He'd been off for a long time, 2 years before coming back, and he was going really, really well before he blew up. I think that was at Fairyhouse actually, and then I thought it was a very satisfactory run at Leopardstown the last day. He stayed on for a place. He did place, I think. There was a couple
he was third, yeah. He was champion at the last though. Like it was a good effort.
So, but I think 2 came down at the last, didn't they? And
they did,
yeah. That's where he picked up the place. But I thought it was a very satisfactory run. He was a half length second to Lord Lariat off 114 before his injury. He's off 109 here. Like, if he's back to himself, and he hasn't shown signs that he's not going to get back to himself, I think he has a right chance here. Fern O'Brien takes the ride. And the other one I like is Maranstown. Raced 10 times, beat 3 lengths on handicap chase debut at Leopardstown. Only other run in a handicap is over hurdles in November. Could be still quite unexposed. Between the two of them, for me, it's a small enough field. So if I was to go for one, I'd probably side with Fairyhouse.
What's the chances we see a big gamble again on Reed to return? Maxine O'Sullivan, obviously a horse that was in the news for all sorts of reasons, with amateurs getting banned at Cheltenham on him. Yeah. They've came from a few times he hasn't delivered, but you could see money arriving for him. Wouldn't surprise me in the slightest.
I've never not seen money arrive for him.
Yeah, exactly. I would actually follow you in with Fairyhouse. As you said, it was a very satisfactory run. He just, as you said, may have just needed a Leopardstown. Should be spot on for this. You've already, I'm not going to regurgitate the form lines that you've picked up. And yeah, Fern O'Brien taking the 7 off. He should go well. You could maybe argue the trip might be a little short of his optimum, but I wouldn't mind me here. Like with the amateur or lady riders, they can sometimes go a little bit quick as well. So with a bit of luck now, that he'll get a nice little toe into the race. That's where I'd be going there myself. Moving on to the 3 mile novice handicap hurdle. This is a very interesting race, and again, horses that we've covered quite a lot in depth. Shannon Royale's a horse who I've given a bit of abuse to be brutally honest, but he has won twice this season and beaten a former Supreme Novices Hurdle winner, Somerville Boy, last time out. Danny Gilligan taking the 5 off, built by Ballymore, who we tipped up for the Coral Cup. Ended up 3-1, but it was nowhere. And then there's Olympic Man, who we were just mentioning the form lines of him with Don Chalant. That's probably where I would go, Dec. I'd probably go with Olympic Man. If I like Don Chalant for the maiden, and he's gone and beaten a horse I think could win a maiden hurdle by 15 lengths. He's in here off 131, I think. Could just be a late mature.
Yeah.
Kintor Kalanisi probably be better going this way. He won a maiden hurdle as well there last time out at Naas. Or it was at Navin, so I think it was Navin. So he would obviously have a chance. And Cato's Revenge wasn't half travelling. I think that's where you're going to go, Dec, was he? Wasn't half travelling in that Pretense qualifier when he actually came down. He definitely wasn't beat. Who do you like here?
It's Cato's Revenge, yeah. No, I was quite keen on the last day, and there was actually a bit of money for him. I met Philip Rothwell when I was walking up to the stand, and I just asked him. He says, "Well, I'm a little bit worried about the trip, but if he says he has a chance." So I don't know where the money was coming from. That might have been us that day. Look, he was going really, really well. Now they were still a long way out. They hadn't turned into the straight yet, but I was getting a little bit excited now with how he went. I thought he travelled really, really well. It was soft enough on seat as well. This is a half furlong or maybe a furlong further. The trip isn't unknown, as I said. Like, he should handle the ground. He won a handicap hurdle of 109 at Limerick before a tour the Cap of Glory at Cork. I really like the Cap of Glory, and we'll touch on him later on. He's definitely the one I've landed on. If it was to pick a danger, it'd be Native Speaker. He's been behind good horses and maidens. Was second on handicap debut off 114, up £3 off 117 here. Definitely has a chance, but just like you nailed it with Cat's Revenge, he was travelling like a good thing the last day. If he stays, I think he wins it. Just on Olympic Man and what was the other one? Olympic Man and Kintor Calanese, they would be of definite interest to me the next day with a little bit more experience. I'd be keen on them, both of them the next day. I actually really like Kintor Calanese, but it'll be the next day for me.
Okay, yeah. Kintor Calanese just looks every inch a chaser, doesn't he? Like, he could have done with a fence yesterday, but they've gotten a win into him. Very, very nice horse. I'd be very much looking forward to him next year. Not even the next day. He'd be a horse that he'd be on my horses to follow maybe when he sees a fence next year.
Oh, definitely.
He could be a big improver.
There could be races at the Punchestown Festival for these horses. Like, that's probably where you're going to see them going very, very close.
Yeah, I just like Olympic Man stepping up and trip here. Like, he obviously was beaten at short odds earlier in the season, but at 2 miles he just probably wasn't a 2 miler. He improved significantly for the step up to 2 mile 3, and I think he's going to improve big time again for this step up to 3 miles. Keddo's Revenge, though, can see where you're coming from. As you said, like, he was going well, but they hadn't quite got racing yet, as you expected as well. And I would imagine of the trainer, Philip Rothwell, he did say he wasn't sure about the trip. They must be a little bit more confident about it if they're trying it again.
Well, it's a little bit further.
Yeah.
That was 2.6.5 at Nice, and now 2.6.5 at Nice takes a lot of getting. You probably get it at Fairyhouse a little bit easier, but look, they're rolling the dice again, and I was getting giddy the last day now just before they came down.
Yeah, What Pat's is a nice horse as well. Good fourth behind Largy Hill, and has been running in graded races, but is 134. Like, probably wouldn't overestimate him, but I do think Olympic Man could be, a very well handicapped horse now, stepping up to 3 miles. Probably the race I'm looking forward to the most, I think, on day one. Coming up next, Dec, is the 505. This is the Easter equivalent of the Liffey hurdle. Basically, it's a 2 mile handicap hurdle. Joe was on the floor really when I didn't see Ataboycharlie entered here, but more on him a little bit later. But this is still a very strong race. A lot of novices coming here, even though I think there's a novice handicap hurdle on Monday.
There is a novice handicap hurdle,
and there's obviously a grade 2 as well on the Sunday. So we've got Westport Cove heading to weights. For me, I think he just needs good ground. I think he's a well handicapped horse and he sees good ground again. Comfort Zone making his return to action, probably Galway hurdle bound, but might need to go up in the weights a little bit to get into that. Helvic Dream, maybe a little bit short of his best this trip. Plenty in here though, Dec. It's an interesting race with 12 runners. Who'd you come down on?
I think McManus has a grip on this. I like 2 of them. Risk Bell. She went off favourite, went 5th off 136 at Leopardstown. She was 8th in the county. She's down to 134 now. I think she's been given a chance by the handicapper. But Comfort Zone, I'd say they've had this in mind. Much as a worth there, it's 100 grand. I'd say that
100 grand handicap. Yeah,
they've had this in mind, and as you said, maybe onto the Galway hurdle after this. It is his handicap debut. And I don't always like to handicap, on their handicap debut, but I just think They don't get it wrong that often, these connections, and it's pointing towards him. His last run was second in the Premier Handicap at Leopardstown on Champions Weekend last September. He's 3 from 4 over hurdles. I think he could go off very, very short here.
All right, okay, that's interesting. Well, the tissue betting has him at around 11-2, 5-1 co-favourites in the tissues. Helvic Dream, One Last Tango, Westport Cove. As I said, Westport Cove, I think he's going to need good ground. I can see where you're coming from. A comfort zone, like it's hard to argue that 132 would be the height of his abilities. He's only a 5-year-old. He's won 3 of his 4 starts, or 3 of his 5 starts. I think over hurdles.
3 of his 4 starts.
3 of his 4, yeah. So he's doing very, very well. He's thriving, and he hasn't been seen in quite a while. I think he ran at the Irish Champions Weekend. He ran a blinder in the handicap on the flat when last seen, and he hasn't been seen since. So they're obviously, it screams Galway hurdle to me, but they probably need to take in a race like this, as you said.
And why wouldn't you take one in worth 100 grand? Like,
exactly,
you know? So,
yeah, 100%.
It's just, I just think it's pointing towards him. He's a good horse as well, like, you know, and he's very, very versatile. I could say they could punt the ears off him as well. Yeah,
I'll give a few more mentions. There's one I do like. I think could be a monster price as well, or maybe not. But I just maybe take a chance on that. Connections. It might be a little bit overlooked in the market, down towards the bottom. Morning Soldier, Thomas Mullins at the Gurkha, based by the Gurkha. Interesting. Like his form was improving. Like his second to Flamborough, who's I think is a very nice horse at Cork. That's not bad form, and he was still travelling okay when he was I think it was 33-40 to 1 in the Liffey handicap. He was actually brought down by Ataboycharlie in that race, but he hadn't really been asked to, get into the race. Now, admittedly, they didn't go overly fast, so a lot of horses were still going well at the time at the second last. But he was still travelling well enough, and I would hope that if he hasn't lost confidence from being brought down, I'd say he's still on a competitive enough mark, and I think it's going to be a nice enough price. So I'd be going with Morning Soldier. Think he could run well, and your comfort zone, Dec, yeah.
Yeah, and the fact there's only 12 runners as well, there's less dangers.
Yeah,
it could be fairly straightforward for him.
Yeah, well, if they wanted to be straightforward, it probably will be, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
exactly. Right, on to the bumper, the Mayor's Bumper. It's a listed race. I think was won by Brighter Days Ahead last year, if I'm not mistaken. Quite impressively. So interesting enough field. Barnahash Primrose, who I think ran quite well in the Mayor's Bumper at the Dublin Racing Festival. Yeah. She is the Tissue's favourite, probably rightly so as well. There was a good money for her that day as well. She didn't do a whole lot wrong. It was a good effort in third. Would she set the standard here, Dec, do you think?
I think so, yeah. She was an easy winner at Limerick before that big run at Leopardstown. The winner finished 7th in the Champion Bumper at Cheltenham. I don't think she's going to be favourite though. I'd imagine Patrick's selection will be favourite, even though she was behind Barnahash Primrose at Limerick.
Yeah, well beaten by her,
yeah. Yeah, but she's won since, and Patrick's chosen. And I don't know why, if I was Patrick, I'd have chosen Flashaway. She was an easy winner at Gowran. Instant Tendance has followed up over hurdles. It'd be between Barnahash Primrose and Flashaway for me. I think Patrick's made the wrong choice.
I would agree. I would have Flashaway over Magic McColgan as well. But if Barnahash Primrose isn't favourite, like I don't usually get too heavily involved in bumpers, but I'd be pretty sweet in her. She would the form is there, and as you said, the Tissue favourites are matching up with Patrick's mount, who she's already beaten 15 lengths. Now, granted, she may have improved, but you still have to improve 15 lengths. It's not as if Barnahash Primrose hasn't improved herself. So
yeah, exactly.
So yeah, no, I'd be sweet enough. I'd say 9-4 there. That would do me. I'd be quietly confident.
Off a nice day
with a bit of luck. Yeah, absolutely.
And just don't do what we done at Cheltenham.
Yeah, this is easy. Exactly. Yeah, no, that's not what we want to say. No, I'd actually have her as one of my better bets on the Saturday, I think. Absolutely. So before we jump on to Sunday, I'll just give a quick mention to our Irish Grand National sweepstake that we're going to be recording, I believe, either tomorrow or Easter Sunday, depending. So there's only 26 horses left in the Irish National as we speak. So unfortunately, we're going to put all the names into a hat. And if your name doesn't come out, we will just refund you the money. That's probably the fairest way to do it. We didn't want to just pick people out. Although, we'll see how it works. I'm just, before we go on to Sunday, I'm a little bit surprised that the race hasn't filled.
So am I. But ground's been very, very bad, and it is very close to Cheltenham, but still, like
$500,000 though. Yeah.
Surely there's a few British horses that could,
they won't even. They can't even run in their own.
No, yeah, fair enough. But like, I'm very surprised it hasn't failed. Like for that pot, surely there's horses out there that can run in the race. Like,
and even if you don't have a ticket for our little sweepstake, we are covering every single horse. So it'd be well worth watching, and we'll give our opinions on it. So do join us for that. Possibly top 39 or 40, depending on what we want to do with Monday's card as well. So very much looking forward to that. We'll move straight on then, Dec, to Sunday, and it's another maiden hurdle here. Ryan's cleaning maiden hurdle. I glanced quickly and I thought that said claiming maiden hurdle, and I was like, Jesus. Look, this is probably a weaker maiden, is it fair to say, than the one that was on that's going to be on Saturday. There is reserves though, so obviously a lot of people wanting to get runs into their horses. Not an easy race though to kind of come down on one, Dec. Who do you like here?
Yeah, it was very, very difficult, and it'd be Cobra Queen. She was 4th grade Jade de Grugy at Christmas. She was torn behind Spot in the Park before that, and the runner-up has followed up. She's a point-to-point winner. Like, she would be my selection, but I wouldn't be overly keen to get involved in the race. I have an awful lot of interest in having a bet in it, but Cobra Queen, okay.
I will put up one at an each way price. I would expect an improved effort from NR, Tony Martin. I think Tony won this race with Tudor City quite a long time ago, and I think he's won it more than once as well. So it's one that he does target, and I wouldn't be surprised with Philip Enright up. I wouldn't say Fairy Tale New York be trouble in the judge, his other runner, but I would take a little chance on NR. Like he's ran okay only last week, but I don't think this is a very strong maiden hurdle in any way, shape or form. I would imagine Ragale Boy is going to be favourite despite basically not turning up at Leopardstown last time out. You don't want to be a brave enough person to back him, I think. I think he bled possibly. So it wouldn't be one for me. But again, not a race that I'd be getting too heavily involved in. Unlike the rest of the card, the 2 mile 4 Collie Furniture Novice Handicap Hurdle is up next, Dec. Again, a race that looks really, really competitive, and there's plenty in here that I like and plenty that we've talked about. Probably no more so than Joyo Vivo. I'd be probably selecting here, but who do you like, Dec?
Yeah, I have this between Joyo Vivo and Silver King. Joyo Vivo, I think, has been on our radar since Tab 1. And he was second on his handicap debut of 109. He looks like he's going to have a right go at this. Silver King is won 6 over hurdles. He won off 109 2 starts ago. He's up to 116. He's never worse than 4th over hurdles. Like typical Oliver McKiernan horse. As honest as the day is long, some of them just always run their races. They can be great horses to follow. He was second to Built by Ballymore in a rated novice hurdle the last day. It'd be between the two of them for me. I think Bukabot is definitely worth a mention. He's 4 from 3. He's won 3 from his last 4. The winner from his defeat followed up again. Mick Charlie, I think, is the name of the horse. He's up £30 now since his opening mark, but he's definitely a horse on an upward curve. And I think you'll see him running a big race. And Barry Linden, he fell when going okay on his handicap debut. He won a maiden last May. Finding it hard to work out his maiden form, but it was too far out when he fell at Down Royal on Patrick's Day. But look, I could see him running a decent race, but it'd be between Silver King and Joyo Vivo for me.
Yeah, no, I'm strong enough on Joyo Vivo. I thought that was a unbelievable run actually on handicap debut, given that he was carrying 12 stone 4, And he was that's a really, really difficult thing to do, giving lumps and lumps of weight away to the winner Morricone. And he was just closing to the line. I just think the step up and trip is going to really suit him. And I think that Morricone, I'm almost certain he followed up as well, if I'm not mistaken. I think he went again. So look, I think that form is nice. He hit the crossbar a few times in the maiden hurdle, but 111 stepping up to this trip. John Gleeson taking 5 off. There's not a lot to dislike in my opinion about Joyo Vivo. A horse that I'm also keeping a close eye on, in those McManus colours as well, Pax. Has ran 3 lovely races in maiden hurdles, and money came from the last day. It was the best run so far to date. And I'd love nothing more to see Colin Murphy get a winner, so we can start backing his horses like they're going out of fashion. And the day is coming, but this horse, I would love to see run a big race. 114. You can maybe argue the handicapper hasn't missed him, but I'd say he has plenty up his sleeve. And you know, he might need this run. And he'd be a horse that maybe you could follow through the summer if they do persevere with him. Don't put him away for a little break. He has plenty of races in him, but Joyo Vivo for me, 111, I think, stepping up to this trip. I would be happy enough now. Happy enough to go with him. I was just thinking back, Joyo Vivo reminds me of Beckett Rock. What happened to Beckett Rock? That's an awful pity now. Yeah, well, hopefully he'll be back now. He might be a little bit hard to place next season, but once the horse is okay and we get to see him next year, that would be the...
Has he got a rating?
Well, he's beaten Joyo Vivo doing handstands, and it was the only run of his life, so he's hard to put a rating on. Like, he's probably ran to, I want to say, at least 130, I'd say, even though Joyo Vivo is only 111, but he beat him senseless. So
he did, that was very, very impressive.
So hopefully we do get to see him quite soon. First grade 1 of the week, Dec, the Honeysuckle Mares Novices Hurdle. This is a very interesting race to say the least. Obviously we've got the Cheltenham form of Jade DeGrugy and Brighter Days Ahead. That race was, you know, it turned into a sprint, didn't it, really? I can't believe what happened with how it turned out. I don't think Brighter Days Ahead has actually been declared, though.
No, she hasn't.
No, she hasn't. So they're probably waiting for Punchestown or maybe a little bit better ground. I'm not sure. I haven't actually read anything about her. I'm a bit surprised that she's not going to run. Fun in there as well. She's been a big improver and a really, really good mare in a Bioluminescence who, oh God, I can't wait to see her over a fence next year. She could be very talented indeed. Who do you like here, Dec?
Look, you know, I'm a big fan of Jatara. It took a while for her to get back to herself. She won a listed bumper at Navan, and then they went to... She just wasn't herself after Cheltenham. I don't think she ran in the Mares Novice, and it just took her a long time. But she's been back to herself this age. She looked very, very good. She definitely had excuses at Leopardstown. She was very, very keen, and Rachel lost her orange down the back straight. She still finished third. She wasn't beaten that far. She's really, really nice. But fun. The penny has really dropped for her as well. And Willie actually spoke at the press release for the Irish Grand National. He was quite bullish about fun would run here. She's 3 from 4 over hurdles. She won her Exeter and then she's won at Nice recently. Like, she's definitely a mare going places. I think she's really, really nice. But I'm gonna take a chance on Cute that they are here. She won on her hurdle debut after almost a year off, and she was giving weight to a horse of Henry de Bromhead's. Therese, I think is her name. She was ahead of Fun in her Punchestown bumper last season. It was won by June to Marvel, I think is the name of the horse, and a horse I'm looking forward to seeing again. But I think they are could be a big surprise here. Jatara and Fun are definitely the ones to beat from here, but like I reckon you could be getting a nice price about Cute they are, and the farm solid. Yeah,
I had a pop at her, I think, when we last recorded. She won her maiden hurdle. I definitely took her on. I know for a fact I did. And yeah, I got
gave a lot of weight away that day as well.
Yeah, that's why I didn't fancy her. And look, she's obviously a good mare. She's able to do that. She's obviously a decent mare. But you know how much I like Jade DeGrugy. I can't get away from her. I know what I saw the last 2 times. That Cheltenham race was a joke, to put it lightly. It was basically a 4 furlong sprint, and the mare by Golden Horn came there swinging and went and won. And Paul and Jack probably want that one back. To put it lightly, they were eyeballing each other, completely disrespected that good mare of Jeremy Scott's, and they got what they probably deserved on the day. But I don't think you can hold that against Jade DeGrugy. I doubt she had a race for a start. Like, it wouldn't have been a hard race in context of this. And she's back up to 2.5 miles. Now, would I ever back her at 2 miles again? I probably would. Like, that race, it was just such a slow bicycle race, basically. She's 11-4, so the market has kind of reacted hostile enough to that run. But a decent pace on here, and I still think that there wouldn't be many geldings around that give her £7. So I'd have to stay with her here. And she's around 11-4, which I'm happy enough about.
What prices did they add? I didn't
around 12-1.
12-1. And the other two, Fun and Jatara.
If Seven's Fun, Jatara's your 3-1 second favourite. Jade DeGrugy 11-4 favourite at the minute. So the market's not too bad, like. And it's a 8-day runners. I'm just trying to find out. I'm surprised that Brighter Days Ahead wasn't declared. I hope she's all right. Obviously we're just recording shortly after declaration. Yeah, that's it. But Bioluminescence is the one I'm really looking forward to for next year. Like, when she sees a fence now, she'll probably be the best it is next year. That's assuming Jade DeGrugy stays hurdling. I think she will. So yeah, be Jade DeGrugy for me, and it's cute day out for yourself, Dec, is it?
It's cute day out, yeah. All
right, well, here is a race that I'm very excited about, and again, I said earlier my jaw was on the floor when I saw Ataboycharlie entered in a grade 2, but this isn't the exact grade 2, but I'm very excited to see No Flies on him. 15-8 stepping up to this trip. I just think this is a done deal now, Dec. I think they obviously skipped Cheltenham for a reason. I would imagine, given his market weakness against Tully Hill at Punchestown and the fact that they missed the Dublin Racing Festival, which was where they wanted to go after the maiden hurdle, I can put two and two together. He's probably missed some work.
Yeah.
And he might have needed that run desperately. I think you're going to see a serious performance from this horse now on Sunday. I'm very much looking forward to it. But who do you like?
Look, he looked the real deal on his debut, and you are very, very excited. And look, there obviously was excuses the last day. He drifted as well, didn't he? The market spoke.
Oh, they couldn't give him away, yeah.
Yeah. So, like, the right was on the wall. You have to totally forgive him. But I don't think he's going to have this all his own way. The Capo, he won his maiden quite easily at Cork. And then he was a neck behind What's Up Darling in the grade 3 in November. He was off since then. He was off until Leopardstown when he won that conditions hurdle. I think he's really, really nice, really underrated, really, really tough. I think he's going to give him a lot to worry about. If No Flies on him is the horse you think he is, he should win it. But I just don't think he's going to have it all in his own way. It would be between the two of them for me.
Yeah, but he's, as I said, stepping up to 2.5 miles. This is a horse that I think could go right to the top in novice chases next season. And given the way he jumps a hurdle, like, he's so slick. Like he jumped so well even the last day. You know, he did make a hash of the last, but he was probably getting tired. He blew up, as you said, but when horses blow up, they tend to eventually get their second wind and run on. That's exactly what he did when he picked the Becht of Stud horse. Just his name is going out of my head. For second place, I think he ran the county hurdle. Jigoro, yeah. Yeah, I'm very excited about him going up to 2.5 miles now. I think he's got a great chance. He ran 2-1, 15-8. More than happy to take that. I fully understand where you're coming from with the Capo. I think we were sweet enough on him the last day at Leopardstown. Yeah. He duly obliged, rated 144, only a 5-year-old. Clearly going the right way. You'd have to have it between the two of them.
It's definitely between the two of them. I'd be nearly siding with the Capo.
Okay.
From what we've seen in proper races, and that next second in the grade 3 in November, the way he won at Leopardstown now after having the break, he's definitely a horse going places.
Yeah, of the 4 Willie Mullins horses, I think there is 4: Gold Dancer, Captain Cody another way, Lachlan. I could see Captain Cody going well at a big price. I know he's a horse you liked as well, Dec. He basically, similar to Jade DeGruge, he just got beaten a sprint the last day, in my opinion. And a truly run 2.5 miles. Could see him go well under Jody Townend, but no, I'm going to stick with no flies on him. I think he's a very, very good horse, and he's going to be another horse on my horses to follow list next year. I think he could scoop a great 1 or 2. I could see him going maybe winning something like a Drinmore or something like that next year. I think he could be that good. Well, here's the race that I was about to say my jaw was on the floor for. The 345. Not the strongest grade 2 mile hurdle you'll ever see. It's probably fair to say. Mirazor West is going to be your even money favourite at the minute. Clearly a better horse going this way around, as we've seen this season. And then we've got Ataboycharlie, who I think Anti-Post was sitting around 20 to 1, but because this horse is now famous, he's 9 or 10 to 1 shot. Very much looking forward to seeing him. But before I go off on a spiel, Dec, who do you like here?
I was going to let you take it away on Ataboycharlie. Look, if he's the horse you think he is, like, you know, you've always thought he's a graded horse. So if he is, he definitely has a chance. And like looking through the field, it is a competitive race now, but I don't think there's anything overly hot in here either. Mirazor West, I just can't take it. He did win his maiden here. He's a much better horse going right-handed, but I'm happy for him to set the marker for us. Sport and Glory, although he's getting on a bit, well, that's probably been a bit harsh. Well, what, is he 8?
He's an 8-year-old in fairness.
Yeah. Like he was second to Romeo Coolio before winning this bumper at Fairyhouse. This is his hurdling debut, but Romeo Coolio ran an absolute cracker in the champion bumper at Cheltenham as well. The form is rock solid. It's whether he can jump or not, and it's hard to back a horse you haven't seen jump before. But I'll probably side with Tunes of Vader. Did I get that right?
Tunes of Vader, yeah.
Tunes of Vader. He won in his Irish jump debut, and the second has followed up since at Navan. I was there that day at Naas, and I was just impressed. And you know when a horse takes your eye, like I didn't even back him that day. I backed the Barry Connell horse, Shoot the Blues. I think it's Shoot the Blue. But I was just quite taken by this horse during the race and after the race, and I think he has a big chance here in a winnable race, unless Ataboycharlie's an absolute good thing.
It could be Tune Savoir, is it? He is a French import, so
yeah, I think you're trying too hard now.
Yeah, look, the thing about Ataboycharlie, I couldn't believe they didn't go for the 2 mile handicap hurdle with him. I think he's still probably the best handicapped horse in the country off 123. Now, I know what I'm about to say here is if my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle, but like if he went and won that Liffey handicap, which I think he would have,
yeah,
you're probably talking about a 135 horse, which we said at Christmas time, I think he's at least that.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen anything to suggest that he's not. This is not a strong grade 2. Now he's only 9 to 1. That's the only thing. I'm a little bit surprised by that. I thought you'd get a bigger price, and to be honest, I think you will, unless listeners of this podcast just absolutely pile into him. He could go off 7 to 2. You never know. But look, what I would say is the race that we kept talking about, that Fairyhouse Maiden Hurdle, just go back and just solely watch him going through that race. Like, he's wide and he's tanking in the arms of JJ Slevin, and you see Firefox and Ballyburn go past the line, and you know you always hear people saying it takes an age for horses to be pulled up. This lad, it looks like he's ready to go around again, running by them. Yeah. He was the last horse to pull up that day, and that's when he went into the notebook. And what he did, when he did a Leopardstown off 111, like to win in the style that he did, and to come to win from where he came from, like you're not going to get into that trouble in this race. So if he is the horse I think he is, I think he'll be placed bare minimum, but I'd be very confident that he is up to this level, and I will stick with him. So I'll put my money where my mouth is. I'm not going to shy away from it now, but it will be Ataboycharlie for me. You could say it's a homer pick, fair enough, but
I hope you're right. I'm excited to see him, and I trust you. I genuinely do hope he bolts up, but I was taken by this French import.
Yeah, no, which is fair enough. It's always good when you go racing. So.
Yeah, when you go racing, you see something, and you don't always be able to explain what it is. You just like them, and I was just taken by him, so I'll have to side with him.
Absolutely. Right. Well, that's the race I'm very much looking forward to on the Sunday. And Dec, we'll probably get a good few snapshots of him if we go down there on the Sunday with her.
Oh, we definitely will. We
Yeah,
might get up on his back if he wins.
Exactly. Exactly. Moving on to the 420, the Boyle Sport, proud sponsor since 2014, so their 10th anniversary. Fair play to them. Novices handicap chase. This is over 2 miles, 10 runners, and a horse that I've been waiting on for quite a while, but I'm just not sold on his jumping. Ataboycharlie. He's let me down at this meeting before as well over hurdles. But he's a horse that is going to go in quite soon, and an old friend of yours, Dec, the king of PRs as well. Handicapper might finally have him now. But who do you like here?
Look, I was obviously drawn to Ataboycharlie, and you know, I'd stable for him as well. It's not so much the jumping, because you know, when he's asked to go and jump, he might jump better. I'd roll the dice with him the first time in a handicap, like, you know, in a handicap chase I would. But the stable form is definitely a worry, and you've been banging on that for a while now. Like, as you said, he was second to Lyser, pulling cleared off 122 last year. He was beat 5 lengths off 127. That was at this meeting. And this is his 6-year-old making his handicap chase debut off 123. Well, it's just the stable form. And
it's such a pity. Like, this could have been a job now.
I think
so.
I think it would have been. And then I was drawn to go out at large. Look, he won a grade A handicap hurdle here in November 21 off 126. He missed some time. He returned to Leopardstown. He returned at Leopardstown off after 18 months off. He ran okay. He may come on for it, but again, it's a gamble how much ability has been retained. Like, he only ran okay. He jumped okay. He's in here off 121. Like, if he returns to form, he probably just goes and wins this, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm just so iffy on the two of them. I've ended up going for Hurricane Cliff, who bolted up on handicap chase debut this month.
Yeah.
Might just repeat that.
Yeah.
Might just repeat that. I thought it was very, very tricky, this race.
Going back to that stable form of Colin Murphy's, though, like, he's had one horse run the last 2 weeks. And the funny enough one is, I put it up, it was Harvey's Point. He was backed into 7-2, but was beaten 50 lengths. So it's like, you know, they were expecting a big run there, and then that happens. And it's just, I do hope he wins. I just couldn't put my money on him right now. And stable form's not something I usually would, you know, it's not something I'd go looking for. But when it gets to this stage now, you can't not ignore it. But look, if you went and bolted up, it wouldn't in the slightest surprise me. And who knows, if a horse like Pax goes close the day before, maybe you could back him, take a little chance on him. And in the horse's defense, like, he didn't run badly at Leopardstown. Like, he probably could have gotten a bit closer. He was hampered as well by I think there was 2 fallers in that race. He was just running on beautifully, and he was a little bit hampered. He might be a little bit better value for the winning position, or for the finishing position. 123 is certain to underestimate his ability. It's just that bloody stable form. Keep a close eye on Ataboycharlie. If you're brave enough, I'd 100% back him. But I just, unless I'm having a really good day, I don't think he's one you'd want to be, you know, trying to get out on. And it's quite large for you, Dec, is it?
No, just, you know,
Hurricane Cliff. Sorry, it's Hurricane Cliff, wasn't it?
Yeah, Hurricane Cliff. Just quite large. Like, it was okay the last day. Just might come on for it. Look, if he goes and wins, I'll just I didn't take the gamble. But yeah, Hurricane Cliff bolted up at, I think, Limerick earlier this month on his handicap chase debut. Might be one more than there.
Right, fair enough. And on to the Willow Warm Gold Cup, or otherwise known as the Powers Gold Cup. 2.5 mile grade 1. We've been waiting for this race for weeks, Dec, haven't we?
Big day.
There's only one horse in here that, in my opinion, has been completely trained for the race, and it is Spillane's Tower. He's actually 7-4 now, 7-4, second in. theoretically, you could say he has the best part of, I think, 10 lengths defined with San Felician on their meeting at Navan in November. The beginners won by Facile Vega. But all you have to do there is go back and watch Spillane Tower. Very, very exciting horse. And again, this will be the result of the week for me now if he goes in, because we've been picked out this race a long, long time ago. And he is a horse I think will go well in the Gold Cup in the future. I'm just going to put that out there. I think he'd be a much better horse now at 3 miles when he sees it. Already won a grade 3 over this trip. Don't think he lost much in defeat to Blood Destiny over 2 miles. And
he gave him weight as well, didn't he?
Yeah, I'd be very confident that he would reverse the form or confirm the form at this trip of Blood Destiny, especially on testing ground. Making up the rest of the field deck, you've got Blood Destiny, obviously, flanking maneuver, San Felician, tactical move, the company sergeant, who, he's actually done all right chasing, 33 to 1 shot, but a very, very nice horse. Could pick up a few nice handicap chases, possibly even at the Punchestown Festival. And then Zana here, rounding off the field of 7. But who do you like, Dec?
Well, it's Spillane Tower, like
we can't not. They would have been trouble. There would have been trouble if he said something.
I believe that. I think it's the perfect race for him. I think they've, to skip Cheltenham and come here, it's a tap in. I think really, Blood Destiny would have been a bet for me at entry over 2 miles. I think he's a 2 miler, flat track 2 miler. Yeah. They're stepping him up. I don't think he finds anything off the bridle. I think he has to just go gallop and win on a flat track over 2 miles. And Spillane Tower is going to get him off the bridle. And you're right, it was a big run the last day behind him. It was really I remember texting you, we were really, really happy with the performance. Put him absolutely spot on, give away over 2 miles. Absolutely delighted with it. Perfect. Nearly better than winning the race. We're over the moon.
Well, the market hasn't missed it. Quite obviously, I'd imagine there's people that are more than happy to back this horse. But look, what I like about him is it's such refreshing campaign, and that Jimmy Manga didn't give a rat's if the horse gets beat. It's all about bringing the horse on and educating the horse, and that's why I think he's going to be such a good chaser next season. He's going to have that experience that horses that have been bubble wrapped and want to keep ones beside their name don't have, and that's just grit. And he's going to be battle hardened, and again, only 6 and all this experience. He could be a serious horse. I'm really looking forward to him. I think he's going to take a world of beating. San Felician, I would have been very wary of if he didn't go to Cheltenham. But I do think Spillane Tower will reverse that form if you go back and watch that Navan race. I said to you that day,
you can't be judging them when they're not off.
Yeah, exactly. I think Spillane Tower genuinely think would have troubled the judge if he was allowed to that day. Tactical move might be actually the one to follow him home. He's a lovely horse. 10-year-old would have no problem with the ground. He's probably the one that's actually slightly overpriced, but it would be Spillane Tower for me. I'll give him a confident shout out as you could predict.
I'd say he has to be the nap at the top.
He has to be, nap at the top. Spillane Tower. Well, let's move on then, Dec. We'll round this one off with the Tattersall's Ireland Memorial Sales bumper. Probably not one that you're going to get too involved in, but was there anything that took your eye here?
Robert Hall's horse Frogman was for to Shuttle Diplomacy at Nace, the first 4-year-old bumper of the year. Shuttle Diplomacy has won again since. Very, very impressive. The third was forced past the post. Jockey weighed in slightly light. Called Cannon, I think. No, made horse out of a mare called Really Nice Mare of Noel Meads.
Oh, was it the white? She wear the white, was it?
The white, yeah.
Oh God. I actually mentioned it. She's a star, was it? Or something?
Something like that, yeah, something like that. But I think John Joe's bringing a horse over. We are red and blue. Won a bumper at Hereford. I think the way they racing bumpers in Britain, they're much more competitive, and I think it could be a big danger. Not an awful lot of interest in the race. It's worth 60 grand to the winner. It's a sales bumper. But I'd love to see Frogman win it. Robert Hall is an absolute gentleman now. If you ever meet him at the races, he has so much time for everyone. He'll stop and chat to you. Really, really nice man. I remember meeting him at Cheltenham one year, and he asked me who I fancied. You get chatting to these people, you want to know who they fancy. All he wanted to know is who I fancied. Absolute gentleman. So I'd love to see Frogman.
Yeah, it was She's a Star, by the way. Called Cannon. Yeah, very, very good. Well, best of luck to him. Hopefully he does run a big race. I have just no opinion. Hopefully it would be in the champagne bar by the time this one goes off. with all our winnings, like the stars align for Ataboycharlie and Spillane's Tower to go and win. And maybe even Joy Viva. That would be quite sweet on him now. I'm very much looking forward to Sunday. It's going to be a great day. But yeah, Nap of the Top will be Spillane's Tower. Have you any other major fancies decked up on the races we covered, or are you happy enough?
Oh, look, I obviously, the more I spoke about Comfort Zone, the more I fancy them. So I can't not mention them. And Cato's Revenge now, if he gets the trip, I think he'd be very tough to beat. And on Sunday then, obviously Spillane's Tower. I'm not overly mad on anything on Sunday. I think it's quite difficult. But I suppose Cato Revenge and Comfort Zone.
Yeah, no, that's going to be a good day. I'm very much looking forward to it. That was the top 38. Thank you very much for listening. Just keep liking and subscribing. That's all we usually ask for. We're on, obviously your Twitter, YouTube, etc. We'll be back very, very shortly with Monday's Fairyhouse card and obviously our Irish Grand National sweepstake as well, which we're really looking forward to. But until then, guys, all the best and bye-bye.
Cheers.